Riders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be riding this beautiful motorcycle here from Royal Enfield. This is going to be a INT 650. The INT 650 is going to be powered by a 648cc parallel twin engine. It's going to have 47 horsepower. It's going to have 38 foot-pound of torque, and your engine is going to be mated to a 6-speed transmission that's going to be chain driven. As you can see right off the bat, you're gonna get beautiful chrome looking tank. You're gonna get this gold striping right through the middle of your tank, as well as a red stripe that goes through your gas cap. You're gonna get a very simple yet very useful analog display. So let's turn here. So as you can see, you're gonna have your speedometer to your left, you're gonna have your tachometer to your right, and you're gonna see that he's gonna be redlining at around 7,500 miles. As you can see down here, this is gonna be very simple, very simplistic, very minimalist from Royal Enfield. You're not gonna get anything that's gonna be out of the extraordinary here. So basically what you get here is gonna be your odometer, and that's it. You don't get anything else. If you want, what you can do is, I'm not sure why we did this. Oh, he said he made the wrong turn. So, and if you want to switch between your odometer and do trip 1, you're going to press down here in between. You're going to see it's going to go to trip A, it's going to go to trip B, and then you're going to go back to your main screen. So in the front, you're going to get an 18-inch tire that's going to be beautifully wrapped around a 36-spoke aluminum wheel. That's going to be the same thing for the back. You're going to get another 36, you're going to get another 18-inch tire, and that's going to be put into a very nicely put 36-spoke aluminum wheel. In the front, you get a single disc dual piston Brembo brakes, and in the back you get a single disc single piston brake. So right off the bat, the motorcycle just feels very good. It's going to be an air-cooled engine, so something to keep in mind if you're riding in hotter weather. Although there's going to be an oil cooler, so that will be something that you don't really have to worry about. So let's see here. So what Royal Enfield did was they redesigned a classic. Royal Enfield has been around since 1901, and they produced probably their most iconic motorcycle, which is the Bullet, starting in the early 1930s. So when they were designing the INT 650, what they did was they want you to have all the modern comforts of a motorcycle, meaning EFI and comfortable riding, as well as updated electronics all around. So the Royal Enfield INT 650 is going to be a redesigned classic, and you're starting to see that a little bit more from some of the local you know, not local, but you know, from some of the manufacturers like Honda, like Yamaha, especially Yamaha bringing back their 900 lineup. Same thing with Kawasaki bringing the W650 and the W800. So what Royal Enfield did was they brought the 650 back, and they redid the frame and everything from the from the ground up, and that's what we have here. So in the back, you're gonna get dual chocks. Those are not going to be adjustable, and same thing with the front. So you get so it's going to be dual chocks in the back, non-adjustable. So we're doing right now 50 miles an hour. We are hovering around 3,200 RPM, and vibrations are minimal. When you look at Royal Enfield, many people, what they say is, and you know what you see in reports and whatnot, is going to be that you get a very cheap, meatly made motorcycle. From being on this motorcycle now, I have to say she feels pretty sturdy. I mean, she feels like she handles well. The brakes do not feel spongy at all. She actually brakes pretty good. And Everything about her, the lines, the design, the way the seat wraps around the frame, the way the tank sits on the bike, everything feels very nice. There's not going to be a gear indicator. All you're going to get with the INT 650 is going to be your neutral light. You're going to get an engine warning light and your turning signals. Other than that, that's basically it. So as you can see here, we do get a high beam to pass, so it flashes. So we get a flasher here, so you can see it flashes down there. Your turning signals, which are going to be here, left and right. You're going to get your horn over here on your right, on your left handlebar. And then as we go to the right, you're going to get your engine cycle, and then for you to start your motorcycle. So very simply made, yet it feels very good. The INT 650, the only thing that worries me about buying a Royal Enfield is going to be dealer support. Royal Enfield doesn't have a very large dealer network in the United States in this case, so I'm sure if you're in India or somewhere else, I believe like Europe, you might have a little bit more dealer support, but there's not that many. I believe the only one that I've seen around my area is going to be in Sanford. Other than that, there's not one closer by. So what I like about the Royal Enfield INT 650, what I like about it is going to be just it has a very affordable price point. You're talking that you get a motorcycle in this class for a little bit over $5,000, so it's going to be $5,799. You get what appears to be a very well-made motorcycle. She feels very comfortable from the factory. The riding position is going to be a standard riding position, and your controls are going to be mid controls. So you're not going to be riding like a Harley or like a sports or anything like that, where you have your forward controls. With the INT 650, you are going to get mid mount controls. On the Royal Enfield, this tank over here is going to be a little bit over 3 gallons, but you do get over 60 miles per gallon in terms of economy. So with a 3.6 gallon tank and over 60 miles per gallon, you're talking that you easily can get, you know, between 180 and 200 mile range out of the Royal Enfield Himalayan 650. Seat wise, you're gonna be sitting at 31.6 inches from the floor, so it's not a tall motorcycle, but it's not a short motorcycle per se. If you want to have something a little bit bigger, they do have the Royal Enfield Himalayan, which that's going to be a little bit taller, but that's going to be into a different market. Royal Enfield also have the Continental GT, which is going to be basically the same motorcycle that we're riding here in the INT 650, but it's going to be a cafe racer style motorcycle, which is the motorcycle that they have in front of us. So looking at the motorcycle, the only thing that I have to say kind of looks kind of cheaply made would be just these brackets here on the handlebar. I'm not sure why they look like that, but that would be one thing that just screams budget to me. When you look at this type of motorcycle, the market that is competing is going to be the cheapest one out of all if you're looking for a parallel twin engine. And if you look at the performance compared to, let's say for example, the W800, horsepower wise and torque wise, you're not gonna get that much more with the W800. So So she actually, as you saw there, the Royal Enfield, the INT 650 actually is able to pull very good from the line. It has very low end torque power, and the 6-speed transmission actually is very smooth and is very engaging. The brakes, as you were able to see, she's able to brake on a dime, and you don't get a lot of that front end dive, which I was actually surprised for being a budget motorcycle. You don't get a lot of that front end dive that you typically get with other motorcycles, so that actually was fairly good. So if you are a beginner rider Royal Enfield might be a good option for you, because they're gonna offer you a full-size motorcycle from the get-go. It has very beginner-friendly throttle response. It has ABS control, so she actually feels very good. And when you compare this type of motorcycle, the INT 650, to other manufacturers, you might have to spend a couple of grand more, if not, you know, $5,000 to $6,000 more. In terms of weight, she's going to be a little bit on the heavy side. She's going to be over 500 pounds. So that will be something that you want to keep in mind when you're buying the INT 650. The INT 650, in terms of weight, is going to come in at 470 pounds once you have all the fluids and gas added to your motorcycle. So it's not going to be the lightest motorcycle, but it's also not going to be the heaviest motorcycle you could buy if you're looking for a standard riding motorcycle like the one we're riding today. What I like about it is, when I look at the Royal Enfield, it screams that era where you have, you know, your Triumph Bonnevilles that had the parallel twin. It screams of, you know, your Yamaha, your Honda with their... So that right there is going to be the Continental GT. As you see, it's going to be a more forward sitting position. You still get the same midfoot control. So you don't see Royal Enfield doing demo events. So when I saw that they had one near my house, I decided to jump on it. It's not every day that you get to see Royal Enfield doing demo events. For one, they only have 4 motorcycles in their lineup. They have the Meteor 350, which is going to be a single. They have the Himalayan, which is going to be their adventure, like beginner entry dual sport bike. And then they have what you can call 2 motorcycles, but it's basically just going to be just one motorcycle. I mean, you have the INT 650 or the Continental GT, same motorcycle, just different type of handling and the way they set up the handlebars. So not really much of a difference. So riders, if you enjoy this type of content, just give it a thumbs up so the algorithm knows it's good, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on my next video. Very good. I've never been in a Royal Enfield, so yeah, it was good. A lot smoother than what I expected.
Quiet, huh?
What was that?
Pretty smooth and quiet, right?
Very quiet. It actually handles pretty good, and the suspension, you know, for being a $5,000 motorcycle, feels actually fairly good.